These challenge questions are going to combine our knowledge of pH and pOH of strong acids and bases, stoichiometry and moles, and also solutions. So you're going to have to be a little bit creative here to figure out what equations you're going to need in order to solve the question. Let's do this one here. In this question, a scientist dissolves 0.0711 grams of sulfuric acid, H2SO4, in water to produce a 0.438 litre solution at 25 degrees C. Let's start by balancing the equation. With H2SO4, we have H2 and SO4. So we start with two H's and we form 2H plus from that. We start with SO4 and we form one SO4 from that. So we can go ahead and fill those numbers in now. Our first question here asks us to find how many moles of H2SO4 are in the solution. So we've been given grams of sulfuric acid. We're going to need to convert that into moles of sulfuric acid. So let's head to our reference sheet. Here's the periodic table. We're trying to find the molar mass of H2SO4. So we're going to need to know the atomic mass of hydrogen, sulfur, and oxygen. Here's hydrogen, here's sulfur, and here's oxygen. So for hydrogen, we have a relative atomic mass of 1.01. For sulfur, we have a relative atomic mass of 32.07. And for oxygen, we have a relative atomic mass of 16.00. So for H2SO4, we've got two H's plus an S plus four oxygens. So if we put on numbers, we've got two sets of 1.01 for H, plus one sulfur, which is 32.07, plus four sets of oxygen, which is 16.00. If we put that in our calculator, we get out an answer of 98.09 grams per mole. So what that tells us is that 1 mole of H2SO4 is equal to 98.09 grams of H2SO4. So that's going to be our conversion factor here. We're starting with 0.0711 grams of H2SO4. So let's set up our dimensional analysis table. So we want to convert from grams of H2SO4 into moles of H2SO4. So we can tell from our conversion factor here that 1 mole of H2SO4 is equal to 98.09 grams of H2SO4. So we're going to multiply everything on the top, divide by everything on the bottom, and we're left with 0.0711 multiplied by 1 moles of H2SO4 divided by 98.09. So if we put that into our calculator, we're going to get out a number of moles of 0.000725 moles of H2SO4. So let's go ahead and fill that in our answer box. We've got 0.000725. Awesome. Next, we're asked, what is the concentration of the H2SO4 solution? So we now know how many moles of H2SO4 we have, and we know the volume of the solution. If we know the moles and the volume, we can use that to calculate our concentration. Now we're on the solutions page of the reference sheet, and here we have our molarity, or in other words, concentration equation. Molarity is equal to number of moles divided by volume. Molarity is equal to number of moles divided by volume. The number of moles was 0.000725. The volume is 0.438 litres from the question up here. If we put that into a calculator, we get a molarity of 0.00165 molar. So let's go ahead and fill that in. Awesome. Okay, so we've got the concentration of H2SO4 is 0.00165 molar. Next, we're asked to find the concentration of H plus ions in the solution. So based on our equation here, we can see for every 1 mole of H2SO4, we get 2 moles of H plus ions produced. So that means our concentration of H plus ions is going to be 2 times the concentration of sulfuric acid. So we're going to have 2 times 0.00165 molar to get us a concentration of 0.00330 molar. So there's our concentration of H plus ions. It's twice that of H2SO4. Let's go ahead and fill that in. Awesome. Okay. Finally, to find the pH of the solution, we're going to be using our pH equation. Back on the acids and bases page of the reference sheet, we have our pH equation. pH is equal to negative log the concentration of H plus. We're trying to find the pH. We know the concentration of H plus. So this is already arranged correctly for us. We just need to plug our numbers in. So we're going to get negative log the concentration of H plus, which was 0.00331. If we put that into a calculator, we're going to get out a pH of 2.48. So we can go ahead and fill that in here. Awesome. So you can see here we brought together a few skills. We had to convert from grams to moles using the molar mass that we had to find in the periodic table. We had to do a molarity calculation using the number of moles and the volume of the solution. And then finally, we used our pH equation. So you're going to have to bring together different things that you've learned throughout the school year so far in order to solve these challenge problems.